Hello friends, this is 16th video of JavaScript tutorial, and today in this video we will talk about conditional statements. In my previous videos also I have used conditional statements several times, but I had not made any special videos regarding conditional statements. So today I am creating this video for conditional statements, and after this video, in the next video I will create one more video for loops, and after that I will create another video in which I will create a very small game with the help of conditional statements and loops. So let's start the today's video. Today we will understand conditional statements with the help of an example, and I will create an example like this, in which you can see here this drop down list is there, and in this drop down list if I click on any of these, if I select John and click on submit, then it will open a window here, and it is showing that John is having ID number 03. Okay, in the similar way, if I take any other, for example Ram, then I'll click on submit, and here Ram is having ID number 01. So this is what it will do, and this I have made using conditional statements. So with the help of this example we will understand that how we can create this one. So here first of all I have created a drop down list, and in my 14th video I have explained those drop down list. You can go through the video, and here you can see I have used the select tag, and inside select tag I had used option tag, and I have written all these Ram, Shyam, John, Harry. So these are the various options which are in that drop down list. I have created a button also here, and for this button I have given the value as submit, and I have used here event listener on click. It should do a function, that is I have given the name of the function as put name. So I will define this put name function here down in the script what it will be. So let's start with this. So now inside script, first of all what I'll do is I will use here first conditional statement, and the first conditional statement we are having is if statement. First of all let's understand what is a conditional statement. A conditional statement is the one in which we are having a condition, and if that particular condition is true, then only a certain action takes place, and if that condition is not true, in that case something else should happen. In the conditional statements we have if statement, or we are having if else statement, and we are also having switch statement. So first of all we will talk about if else, and after that we will talk about switch statements. You can go to my 14th video in which I have explained these drop down lists. This is the drop down list, and I have given it an ID. So I will call it here, where I'll give it a name, an ME, and I'll write here document dot get element by ID. And what ID I have given it an ID as name. So after this semicolon, and now I will start using if statement here. So if now I will take this NME, and one more thing I want to tell here, that I will use here dot value. Okay, why? Because you can see in my previous videos also I have used it several times, dot value. And where do I use it? I use it where I want to take input from the user. So it depends upon the user, whatever he will select out of these four names, on the basis of that I will be having my result. So whatever will be the value of this NME, means from here whatever value he selects, according to that, if let us suppose that if this value is equal to Ram, in that case what should happen, I will use here curly brackets and window dot alert Ram is having ID number 1. If this condition happens, if Ram is selected, then this action should take place. So this is where we use conditions. So this is the first condition. You can stop here also. If you are having only one condition, you can stop here. But if you are having multiple conditions, for example you have Ram, Shyam, John, Harry, in that case you will have to use if else. So how will you use if else? You will have to write here else, and after that you will have to again use curly bracket here, and again if here I will again write enemy dot value is equal to, let's say, Shyam. So if it is equal to Shyam, in that case what should happen again? Similarly we will do the same thing, window dot alert Shyam having id number 2. So this it should write, and after that again for the third one what I'll do is I will again write here else, again curly bracket, and here again I will write. Now as you can see that I have written all of them, and all of them have been written in the similar way. But suppose that if out of these four names which are shown here, if the user does not select any of these, but he selects nothing but this select, and for that we will use else at the end, and here we will write else. Again here what we will write, now we will not write if. By default what should happen if all these four things does not happen? In that case what we will do, that we will simply write here window dot alert. Here we will write the message, please select an appropriate name. So this is what we want to happen. I want this action to take place when I click on this button, and you can see here I have created a I have given a name of the function here, which should come in function when I click on this button. So I will put this whole into this function. So what I'll do is I will write here function put name, I will write into the brackets. So what I'll do is I will cut all these from here and put them inside this function. Okay, so now I have inserted all of these inside this function, and after that I will click on save. Okay, and after that you can see here that, okay, so here you can see that if I click on, let's say, Shyam, I'll click on Shyam, you can see Shyam is having id number 2. In the similar way, if I click on Harry, Harry is having id number 4, like this. So this is what we have got using if else statement. But this is not the only statement we have. We can get the same result with the help of another conditional statement, and the name of that conditional statement is switch. Switch will also do the same function, but the way of writing is different. In case of switch statement, we have three main keywords which we use in switch. The first one is switch itself, the second one we have is case, and third is break. So we will use these three keywords, and with the help of them we will get the same results. Here you can see that now for some time let's not have these things here. So I'm going to put them in statements, and from here to here I will put them in statements. So now after this I will use switch statement, and for switch statement what I'll do is I will write here switch, and after that I will write here the variable name. This variable name I will use here to switch. I want to switch it, so I'll write here switch, and inside it I will write NME. But again, because I want the value to be taken from the user, so that is why I will use here dot value. Okay, so I'm using here enemy dot value, and after that I will put here curly brackets, and inside curly bracket I will use the second keyword which I just told you, that is case. So I will use here case, and case must be what? That the first case can be Ram. So if he is selecting, means the user is selecting Ram, in that case what should happen? So in that case I will write here document.write. As you can see what I had written here, Ram is having ID number 1. So here also I'll write here Ram is having ID number 1. Okay, similarly for here, for the second statement, again you will write here case, and here in the second case, if it is, let's say, here one more thing, the last thing we will have to write here is break. I just told you that you will be having three keywords here. The first one is switch you will use only once. After that you will write all the cases. The first case is Ram, and in that case what should happen? You should write Ram is having ID number 1, and after that it should get break. Now what do you mean by break? Break means after this statement will get exit. Okay, and it will not move further. So I will put the break here if this condition is true. But let us suppose the user has not selected this one. So in that case, this condition will switch over to this one. Okay, so in this case, case is suppose if the case is second one, that is Shyam. So I'll write here Shyam. If it is Shyam, in that case, it should write document.write Shyam is having ID number 2. Okay, in the similar way, now let's break it. Okay, if this is true, in that case this result will come out and this statement will get break, means it will get over. Now after this, if it also does not happen, if the user does not select even Shyam, in that case it will switch over to the other one, and that one is the third case, and that is if this case is John. Now at the end we use one more keyword which is called as default. Now what do you mean by default? Default will work in the similar way as you can see here, this single else which I had used without if, at the end I had used. So what will be the function of this keyword which is default, which I'll write here? It will be shown if none of these is selected. So default, here I will write document.write please select an appropriate name. After this we will not write break. So now this curly bracket which was started here, this will get closed here, and you can see that I am writing this in a function which is put name. And why I am writing it in a function? Because I have an event listener here, and on click this function should be done. So that is why I have written it into put name, and here the curly bracket was starting and the ending of this curly bracket is here. If you don't want it here, you can put it here also after this. Okay, so this is how we will write it, and now I'll save it, and you can see that it will do the same function as that was done by the previous one. So I will refresh it, and now you can see here I'll click on Shyam and submit, and Shyam is having ID number 2. Instead of window.alert, I have written here document.write to make a small difference. So if you will write window.alert, then it will give a window alert to you. If you will write document.write, then it will give you the result like this. I hope you liked my video, and in the next video we will talk about loops. Have a nice day. Goodbye.